Ghost Code Magazine welcomes in Hunter from Love is Red. How are you today, man?
Yeah, what's up, man? I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Word, I'm excited to have you here. This is big news for our scene to have your band come back after a
Oh
long
yeah,
layoff. And, bands often don't get second and third lives. Nobody is getting really rich off of hardcore or metal. But
right.
it's super cool to have this band back. It's a band that I followed back in the day. And when I saw this pop up literally in my inbox, I was like, what? I said that out
Sweet.
loud
Yeah.
with excitement in the best way.
We're super stoked. I mean, we were on Furnace Fest, and obviously that was last year. And then everything happened with COVID. And so, like, everybody, we've been chilling and, throughout this time kind of had the opportunity to write some new music. And then Furnace Fest is back and things are opening back up and shows are happening. So, yeah, everything is awesome. Stoked.
Awesome. What was the kind of genesis for the band to come back together? Was it just to come back to do Furnace Fest, or was there some kind of itch all of you had collectively?
Yeah, I mean, the last time we did and the show was awesome. We had a rad show. We had a great time. We obviously, everybody in the band lives in different places. Just throughout COVID and being home, we all kind of started like, going back and forth with music and ideas and, started sending stuff over and listening to it. And yeah, and then, I mean, we're not a full-time band. We did it just to do this show and to kind of get out some material that we all had. And I mean, listen, everybody's been kind of fucked up in their own way over the last year, like there's a lot of shit that's happened and people have, vented in that in a lot of different ways creatively and things like that. And so it was just cool for us to be able to kind of take a lot of stuff that we had and just make a record out of it and put music out on it. And yeah, we're super stoked. And so we're excited to play again. We're excited to play in September, and do this. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And yeah, we're pumped.
Darkness is Waiting is the new EP. It is
Yeah.
awesome. I literally was just like bedroom moshing and whoa, whoa, whoaing around the room. I love the
Yeah.
whoa, whoa. We got the like Misfits whoa, whoa, whoas.
Yeah.
I love them so much, man. It's such a killer little piece of new music, man. So good. What a good job.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Super stoked. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're excited about it. It's definitely a record that has a lot of, dark undertones, you know what I mean? And just, again, I mean, a lot of it is just a lot of, mental health issues and struggle and just fighting. And just, I mean, our full length record was called The Hardest Fight. And a lot of it was about growing up and making decisions for yourself and, deciding how you're going to live your life and who's going to tell you what to do. And this is almost like a extension of it, 15 plus years later, right? Of just, it's like, hey, it doesn't matter what happens in life. Shit never goes the way that you think it's going to go. There's always challenges, there are always issues. And so, again, this whole record is really just about dealing with that, persevering, dealing with, obviously the world that we've been living in and ups and downs. And, we're all old now. We're all in our 40s now. We have lives, we have kids, we have jobs, we have other things aside from being like, an 18-year-old hardcore kid just driving around in a van and living on $5 a day. You know what I mean? So, so this record is really just all of that kind of just put out there. And, we're super stoked because the sound is very, we kept our sound, we kept everything about Love is Red. I feel like it's very much an extension of just our last record, without skipping a beat really. So yeah, we're super stoked. I'm stoked you like it, dude. Keep moshing in your bedroom, please.
Indeed.
Take videos, post
I
it
will.
online.
We'll put that on TikTok or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's fun when a lot of times bands come back for whatever. Like I said, or I alluded to earlier, bands get like that Jones to make music again or be with each other. Like we took a break, now we're back. But it's cool when you come back and you're able to like keep that consistency from before, because you just don't know until you get in a room, until you start trading riffs, or you start writing lyrics down, how it's going to all end up. So it's really cool to kind of like follow this journey you guys are on.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's been a ton of reunion shows recently, right? The last like 3, 4, 5 years, I feel like there's been so many bands, and for the most part, I'm all for it. I mean, I love it. And I love seeing bands playing again. There's definitely bands that play again that sound like they haven't played together in 15 years. And that, that's kind of always. And we're like, if we're gonna write this, we don't want it to sound like we just threw together some some 5-song EP just to put it out there. You know, it wasn't, we didn't want to just do it just to do it. We're like, if we're going to do this, let's make it sound fucking good. Let's make it sound thick. Let's make it sound heavy. Let's make it sound pissed. Like, let's do a really good record. Let's not just be like, oh, we're a bunch of old guys playing some shows. Great. Here's 5 songs that maybe people will like again. We're like, no, if we're going to do this, let's really do it. And so we were really stoked on the way it came out. I think it came out really good, and we're super proud of it, you know?
As you should be. You should
Yeah,
be.
and super stoked to be playing again. And I mean, you know, the cool thing is I feel like in this genre, in metal, hardcore, punk, it's like bands may stop being bands, but the people never stop listening to those bands, reliving those moments of seeing them live, like having that emotional, there's such an emotional connection between fans and punk and hardcore and metal, and everybody just feels like they're just a part of it, right? So I think it's cool because bands that maybe they haven't played in a long time, they play a reunion show or reunion tour, and it's like people just automatically go right back to like that first moment that I saw them with 20 other people sweating in a warehouse or some shit, you know? And it's like, it's just that emotional attachment that I feel is unique to punk and hardcore. And so, you know, we're just stoked to be a part of it. We're stoked to be playing this summer. You know, we're stoked to do a record. And, you know, we all love metal. We love hardcore. We love punk rock. You know, it's just a part of us, you know?
Indeed, there is that commonality, I think, that's very distinct to punk and hardcore. I love metal. I'm a metalhead through and through, but it's like at a certain point, I don't want to. Singing about dragons and swords doesn't really relate to my personal life as much as meaningful lyrics about overcoming adversity.
Yeah.
You know,
Dragons and swords are
I love
fucking cool, though.
dragons and swords are fucking cool, and you can't go wrong with some dragons and swords artwork on a metal album. But like, yeah, but hardcore has always had that more like grassroots, street level, good stuff.
Sure.
But I think it's a little more relatable to most
Yeah.
people. But some people need the
Yeah.
escape. They need the dragons and swords to run to
Totally.
because the street level stuff is too much for them. So no, I'm not dissing anybody. Um, so beside
Yeah.
Furnace Fest, which looks insane, by the
Yeah.
way,
It's going to be
it looks
fun.
banana balls. What else do you guys have lined? You have some other gigs lined up to kind of get like road ready?
Yeah, we're playing in Nashville. Basically, we're doing a show the day before Furnace Fest on September 23rd in Nashville. It's really awesome how it came together. We got Terror to commit to doing it. Terror's awesome. Have been friends of ours for 20 years. You know, they're the realest dudes and super legit. And so we got them to do it. Comeback Kid, who's another they're just lifelong friends of ours, and you know, took Figure Four, Comeback Kids old band, took Love Is Red out on tour, and just been friends forever. Misery Signals, you know, another band that's on the show who's just been friends for a long time. And so it's rad. So we got these bands to do it. And then we got a bunch of younger hardcore bands like Drain and Mutually Assured Destruction and Dare and One Step Closer. So we got all these awesome young bands and young straight edge bands and hardcore bands that appeal to, you know, the 19-year-old kids. Yeah, and then us, another band from Nashville called Hollywood is going to play. They were around in the early 2000s. We did a lot of shows with them, and so they did our show in 2010, which was a blast. So they're going to play it as well. So yeah, we wanted to do this show, and it was like, you know, should we play our own show? Should we get these other bands? And I'm like, let's just try to put the biggest fucking show together that we can and make it like a legendary event, and then we'll play it, and that'll be fucking awesome. And you know, it'll be great for everybody. So it just worked out. All these bands were down to do it, and we found a sick venue that's outside. So yeah, so we're doing a huge Nashville show. We're playing the Furnace Fest show. And that's it as of right now. That's what we're doing. We did the record. We're going to do those 2 shows, and then and then we'll see what happens.
Word. Yeah, that vibe reminds me of like an old school matinee. And for the people who like Comeback Kid, go check out Figure Four, because I remember that band and like super killer.
Yeah.
And that's why they became Comeback Kid, is because of what they did before. So
they're like the Canadian hate breed.
Exactly. Right on. I couldn't have said it. That's like, you should be a reviewer. That's a great assessment, man. You know, I'm glad you guys came back for the right reasons. Again, this EP is amazing, and I'm so pleased for you guys. Obviously, you know, getting back into shape to do just even a couple of shows is, if you've not been active making music all this time, is work. Have you guys been just like sort of woodshedding on your own? Are you going to get together and do a bunch of rehearsals for the show? What's going to happen?
Yeah, so everything has basically been virtual up to this point. With us being everywhere, we've basically just been recording things, sending them to each other, going back and forth, doing that way. We're going to get together and spend time leading up to the shows that we're doing, getting everybody in a room together and having everybody play. And so we'll practice and run through quite a bit at that point in time. But I mean, with technology, we've just been doing everything virtually these days, you know? I mean, that's how it's been. And it's been pretty cool. It's pretty cool that we live in a world that we can record albums in different places and different cities, and you know, technology affords us that. And so, yeah, I mean, we'll probably sound a little shitty, but you know, it's okay. You know, no worries. We're gonna have fun and just fucking do what we can, and it'll be awesome. You know, hopefully we'll get some stage divers and some crowd participation, and it'll make it all sound good. You know.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's gonna be sick. And yeah, man, I couldn't be happier for you. Congratulations on that. Like I said, not everybody gets to have another go around. I hope this leads to more stuff. My fingers are crossed. And I cannot wait for people to hear this EP. It's coming out July
Thank
9th.
you.
Yeah, man. All the best to you. Keep your head up. Congratulations on getting back to work and travel.
Thank you.
Keep being safe, and we'll get our stuff back. We'll get our scene back. And when you're not playing, you'll be able to go out and support your friends, which is awesome.
I know, man. It's awesome, dude. Shows are back, metal's back, hardcore's back. You know, the country's opening back up again, which, you know, is much needed for a lot of people in a lot of different ways. And yeah, man, we're excited. It's gonna be amazing. So, hell yeah.
Awesome. Hunter from Love is Red, thank you for hanging out with Ghost Gold today. I deeply appreciate it.
Thank you. See ya.
See you soon.